I remember becoming best friends with Brandon in freshman year, and I remember seeing him go through all the hard times in his life, but I also remember the crazy adventures we would have together. Most of all, I'm happy that Brandon finally met Olivia, and that I'm so happy to be here on their special day, on their wedding day, to speak in honor of this ceremony. I'll talk about, how I first met Brandon, some of our fun stories that we have of each other, and also how happy I am that he finally met Olivia. The first time I met Brandon, I remember I was in orchestra, which I just joined because they needed a pianist. And I didn't really have any friends, so I would just sit inside, and practice piano. But then one day, Brandon came up to me. I didn't know who he was. It was completely random, but for some reason he decided to come up to me and talk. And I will admit, I wasn't very convinced of him being a good friend at the beginning. I didn't feel a connection. But we talked, and we found out we had the same Chinese teacher, and we were just like, wow, that's cool, man, but we didn't really talk anymore. At the end of the season, I started talking with the concert mistress and becoming friends with her, and I found out that she was actually Brandon's sister. So while I was talking with her, actually, Brandon came up, and I started talking with Brandon again. And actually, that time, I felt a connection with Brandon, and soon we became good friends, eventually the best friends. And as our friendship grew, I actually transferred from my old piano teacher to his music teacher, and that gave us more opportunities to be with each other instead of just once a week in orchestra, and that led to some fun stories. I can still remember in high school, I can picture it in my mind, where Brandon would play in a concert, and he would normally play extremely well, but occasionally he would play not so well. And I remember after not playing so well, he would become depressed and would shut himself downstairs, not talking to anyone, and just playing on his phone until his mom or his sister would come up, get him, and force him to talk to the audience. He had many of those occasions. I also remember the time we went swimming at my teacher's house, and his parents were watching us. My parents were watching us too. And eventually, there was a dock adjoining to the pool on my teacher's house, and we decided to go on the dock and look around. And on the way back, I remember Brandon saying, whoa, wouldn't it be fun if one of us just jumped into the river? I'm just like, dude, don't do that. It's dumb. You don't know what's in the river. But, Brandon, being the crazy fun guy he is, finally decided just to jump in the river with his parents watching. Obviously, he got scolded by his dad, but he didn't care. I also remember the mini chamber practice that we had together, both as a duo and a trio with his sister. I remember as a duo that we would often play, and I didn't follow some dynamic markings or some phrasing, and then Brandon would get mad at me and Josh, follow the phrasing! And I'd be like, sorry, dude, and I would never argue back, and I would just listen to him and follow the phrasing. But eventually, we became a trio with his sister joining us. But with his sister joining us, I remember he would yell at us, both of us, for doing something wrong, and obviously that was not a very good form of communication, and eventually me and his sister would get fed up and argue with him, and then we would all argue until our teacher came by and scolded all of us for arguing and not practicing, or we would all get extremely mad and not practice until our teacher would come back and force us to practice again. Throughout the years, I've seen Brandon mature as a person and to become the man he is today. I remember him first meeting Olivia. I thought they were the perfect couple. They were perfect for each other. And soon, we finally got them to go on a date. And the day went well, and they eventually became boyfriend and girlfriend. And even though they had some hard times, I know that they both matured through those hard times and stayed together, and now they got married. Brandon, Olivia, I love you guys, and I hope you have a wonderful life, and I look forward to staying as your friend and seeing your life and playing with your kids and having them call me Uncle Josh. I wish you the best, and I'm happy that from childhood until now, I was able to watch Brandon become the man he is today, and watch him meet Olivia and fall in love. And I know they will make a great couple, and I love both of them.